Amherst County. I'm Rob Arnold, Superintendent of Schools in Amherst County Public Schools. Hope everybody is safe mentally, emotionally, and physically out there. I know it's been a while since I've come to you with some information. The intention was to provide you with some information on Sunday. We had to cancel that because we got new guidance late Friday night from the state superintendent on how we were to deal with grades and those kinds of things. And so I think that's one thing that everybody should be aware of as we kind of work through all of this, is that every time the state changes their guidance, or every time the governor has a different executive order, we're left with trying to figure out what it means for Amherst County. And so that's why we continue to ask for you to be patient with us, and you have been so far. You've been great, so I want to thank you for that. So I'm going to go through some information for you today. Today is March 31st. So we all know what time it is. The last time I came to you was Wednesday of last week, which was March 25th. Before we get started, I want to kind of share a little bit with you as far as where I am with this process. I really started working on this pandemic March 11th. And did not come up for air, I don't think, for about 2.5 weeks. And this past Saturday, when I kind of exhaled, it hit me, the emotions of all of this and the weight of all of this. It really hit me, and it was an emotionally difficult weekend. And I only say that because I understand. I want you to know I understand what you're dealing with as parents, what you're dealing with as students. It is a very difficult time. But at the same time, I want you to know that there are great people in this school division. There are great people in this community that are all pitching in to help out, and we're going to get through it together. So let's kind of get started with some of the new information and what it means to us. As you may know, yesterday the governor executed his executive order number 55, which was a temporary stay-at-home order. After we looked at it, we were trying to figure out what that meant to the two expectations that were given to us at the very beginning. Those expectations were to provide food and to provide continuous learning opportunities. And so when we looked at it, we were assured today by the state superintendent that those two things can continue to happen. And I'll just kind of read what the expectations or the exceptions that the governor made. So in his executive order number 1, he said individuals may leave their residence for the purpose of, and under A it says obtaining food, beverages, goods, or services as permitted in Executive Order 53. So that tells us that we are still allowed to distribute food to our students. And so we're going to keep the same processes in place to distribute food continuing forward. There's also 1G is traveling to and from an educational institution. So that is for students, staff, and parents, that they have the right to go to a school and back home. And so what that means for us is that staff will be able to come in and pick things up, do those kinds of things, or even work if they choose to go in the building. What it means for students and parents is that you will have the ability to come to the school to pick up the learning packets as we move forward, and to pick up your belongings, and I'll get to that a little bit later. Finally, there is in this executive order number 7, it allows it doesn't limit anybody that is working as operation of government, and the school system is an operation of the government. So we believe that we are still in good standing under this order to provide the food that we've been providing, and to provide the learning opportunities. And so we'll keep moving forward with that. So the thing that I wanted to talk to you on Sunday about were things like grades, promotion, SOLs, and we got some different guidance on Friday night, and so that's why we had to put it off. So what I want to talk to you about are some of the guidance and how Amherst County is going to handle these kinds of things. So once again, I'm reading off the board, so if my eyes are wandering, that's why. So the first thing I want everybody to know is that this closure, and this goes without saying, is of no fault to any of our students, and therefore there's going to be no negative impact on our students from a kind of a grade, a promotion, or an SOL standpoint. We don't have an equitable way for students to fix these problems, and so here's what is going to happen in Amherst County. So in grades K through 8, and when I say 8, I'm talking about non-high school courses. So there are some courses in the 8th grade that have high school credits associated with it. So K through 8, all students will go on to the next grade level. As I told the seniors the other day, your counselors will be talking to you because there are individual things that we need to address as some students' grades are in different places, and we're going to have to work through that. But you will move to the next grade. So if you're in 1st grade this year, you're going to be in 2nd grade next year. For students that are in high school credited courses, and that could be grades 8 through 12, you will get credit for your classes. And so when I say credit, that's a standard credit. That's what you need towards graduation. And so you will pass those courses and you will get credit for those courses, and you will move then the following year to the next course. So if you were in English 9, you'll go to English 10. If you were in biology, you would go to the next science, whether that was environmental science or chemistry. As far as SOLs are concerned, students K through 8, you will not be required to take SOLs this year. Students in grades 8 through 12 that are in a credited course, a high school credit course that has an end-of-course test with it, you will not take your SOLs, and you will receive a verified credit as a pass for those SOL tests. So all students that are sitting in a course that has an end-of-course SOL attached to it, you'll receive credit for passing. So with all of these, you can rest assured that you're going to be moving forward. As far as what your grades will look like, we are working on that. That's taking some time for us to work through because of the changes in the guidance that we've received from the state. And so we can anticipate or you can anticipate hearing from your counselors individually more towards the end of April. And I understand that that's a long time away, but we don't want to get this wrong. We'd rather take our time and get it right. I believe by telling you that you're moving forward should rest some of your concerns. We will get to and we will work towards the grade issue. I think it's important now to talk about some of the information that we're going to start giving you, the learning opportunities. So at this point, you should have learning opportunities that get you through April 10th. It was our intention to turn around on April 10th and give you new material, new learning opportunities. And the reason we're going to have to push that date out to April 17th because the governor's order did make some changes for us internally in that we're having to do most of this now virtually, and we don't want, for the safety of our staff, we don't want them coming together in close quarters. So it's going to take a little bit longer than we anticipated, but we're going to get the new learning opportunities out to you on April the 17th. Now, what's going to be so important about April 17th and the information that you get there? The information that you get then is going to be designed in such a way that it's going to bridge a gap for you as a learner to your next subject or your next grade level. So, and what I mean by that is I don't want a third grade student going to the fourth grade and having 6 to 8 weeks of information and skills and content that they never got an opportunity to work on. And so that's what this information is going to do. It's going to help you have that information so you don't have gaps in your learning. We understand that that's difficult. We've been hearing from parents how difficult it is to be the teacher of that student, and we recognize that. One of the things that you'll start to get following April 17th is your teachers will start to contact you to make arrangements for you to speak directly to your teacher and reach out with any questions and guidance that you might need. And so in order to get ready for that day, we're going to ask that our teachers spend next week figuring out the appropriate way to contact each of you. So we understand that not all of you are on the internet and therefore can't be reached through the means that things like Zoom, the GoToMeeting, the Google Meet, those kinds of things you won't have access to. So they're going to have to figure out how they contact you, whether that's by phone or another method. But they're going to spend next week figuring that out. So by the time the 17th comes and you get newer learning materials and learning opportunities, they will be able to reach out to you and provide you with support moving forward. As far as our next steps, and I want to kind of give you some what to expect, is I've had the good fortune and honor to be asked to serve on the state's task force concerning continuity for learning. So the state's going to put out a document that gives school systems some guidance on how to do all of this in times of crisis. And so one of the things that we've discussed in our conversations on this task force is, first and foremost, this is a stressful time, like I talked about at the beginning of this video. And we need to do our very best to meet the social and emotional needs of our students and our families. And I would say that we've spent a lot of our last 3 weeks trying to meet the academic and the physical needs or the nutritional needs of our students, and not done as good a job with the emotional needs. And I want you to know that that's going to change. We're going to start doing some things as soon as this week and moving into next week. We're going to try to reach out and contact you, whether it's an administrator or a counselor, to just catch up with you, to connect with you, to make sure you're doing okay, see if there are things that you need from us that we can help provide. Some other things that I'm going to be doing, our 3 school psychologists are going to sit down with me at the end of the week, and we're going to tape a podcast that talks about what families can do to deal with the emotional stress and the anxiety that's created by all of this. So we're going to get to work on that, and so be looking for that as we move forward. Like I said, we will be doing another packet flash drive pickup on April the 17th. Your teachers will be contacting you prior to that to set up what's the best way to communicate with you. And following the 17th, they'll be contacting you on a weekly basis in order to provide support to the learning materials that you're getting. We also have understood that a lot of you are concerned about the ability to come in and pick up your belongings. Each of our principals has been tasked with setting up a schedule for their own schools, so you will start to hear from them very shortly. They'll start to communicate with you. As a matter of fact, I think the high school already has a plan in place on how to get folks into the building. We don't want to do it all at once, and that's why we're going to let each school figure out the best way to do that. I think those are the things that I have that I can be specific enough with you. I know that you have more questions, and we are working every day to kind of come up with the solutions that are going to be needed. But at this point, this is what we know, and this is what we can bring to you. As always, we ask that you get your questions out to us. We're looking those over on our website. We have frequently asked questions. The state of Virginia on the VDOE website has a document about frequently asked questions, and so hopefully those can answer your questions, but if not, please reach out, whether it's email, by phone, to your school, to us here in the central office, and we'll be glad to provide you with any support, anything that you need. But I think at this point, that's about what I can share with you in any confidence. But I will say once again, this is a wonderful community, and I think we're all fortunate to be a part of this community. Everybody continues to reach out to us, to provide support for us as we are reaching out to parents and students to provide support to you guys. So the last thing I will leave you with is please be patient with us. Please allow us a little grace, and we promise that we will continue to do our very best to meet your needs as we move forward in this. But once again, everybody please stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll be talking to you very soon. Good night.